Tonight at 6, the race to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham is heating up. 10 Republicans are on the ballot, with 5 emerging as top contenders. What they're promising voters. And a Savannah man facing several serious charges remains behind bars after missing his first court appearance. Why he wasn't in court and what's next in the case. And Liberty County honors the legacy of Civil War nurse, educator, and author Susie King Taylor on what would have been her 178th birthday. WJCL 22 News at 6 starts now. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Kirsten Masalka. First, a quick check of your forecast. Here's a live look outside at Hilton Head Island. It's a little gloomy out there today. Looks like it's not raining out there, but we definitely saw some rain across the area today. Meteorologist Austin Green joins us now. Austin, I know at least in Savannah, we saw some pretty heavy rain earlier.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Kirsten. In some spots even saw some really significant rain. I did want to start us first here with the viewer photo. This was actually sent in by Chelsea Oliver. This was in Jessup. Earlier this afternoon, those heavy rains led to significant flooding. We saw lots of stranded cars, and this car actually submerged either in some sort of ditch or runoff. But I wanted to show you this big important reminder. When you see floodwaters, please do not try to drive through them. I'd rather you turn around and not drown. Radar network, though, right now, the good news is that heavy rain that we did see in Jessup, that was really late morning to early afternoon, has subsided. That's the case across most of the region, only tracking a couple of light showers as you start to work further inland. But man, temperatures way off of average today. Savannah only made it to 83 degrees. We're currently sitting at 82. Further south, Jessup 76 right now. And then even on the coastline, currently hanging out in the low 80s. Live view in downtown Savannah. Mentioned that the rain has stopped, but it is still a little gloomy out there. You notice, though, as we go through this evening, temperature-wise, we're going to stay right around the low 80s. Rain chances don't look like they're going to be any more of an issue for us. Overnight, we'll start to clear the clouds out. Mostly sunny start tomorrow morning. That's the good news, but we are going to heat up. We'll be talking about temperatures making it to the 90s after the brief break today. We do have another round of isolated showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Not going to be a washout. Rain chances actually a little bit less than what we had today, but I'll show you the timing of those showers and storms coming up here in just a few minutes. But if you want to get a head start now on the area's certified most accurate forecast, just download our free WJCL 22 app. Kirsten?
Tuesday is the special primary in South Carolina for the late Lindsey Graham Senate seat. Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, was appointed to fill the seat until the end of the current Congress. Now she's also running for a full term with President Trump's blessing. And as CNN's Diane Gallagher reports, that has prompted some backlash.
As candidates look for a way to stand out in the crowded race to replace the late Lindsey Graham on the ballot.
Pig math doesn't work for any of us as taxpayers.
With just days to go,
we'll see you at the polls on August 11th.
Republicans in Charleston packed a private club to hear from most of the GOP Senate hopefuls.
We are getting ready to elect a person for the next 6 years.
While there are 10 Republicans on the ballot, 5 are seen as top contenders. Senator Darlene Graham, Congressman Ralph Norman and Russell Fry, former Governor Mark Sanford, and businessman Mark Lynch. The splintered field means it's unlikely one person will get a majority on August 11th, which would lead to a runoff between the top 2 vote-getters 2 weeks later.
I'm really kind of looking at a couple of the top candidates and see what they have to say about particular issues.
Missing from the stage in Charleston, President Donald Trump's endorsed candidate, Darlene Graham, whose campaign says has been busy in Washington with her new job in the U.S. Senate.
Please raise your right hand.
Republicans here were largely supportive of the president's push for Graham, who had not previously held elected office, to finish out her older brother's current Senate term.
I'm here today because I'm answering President Trump's call to serve. My late brother Lindsey was...
But her decision to campaign for the full term has left some of her rivals up in arms.
Queen Darlene, she was only at one debate, and she had to have her notes there and read from it. She's just not qualified.
What I hear from voters is that no one knows who she is or what she's about. I've actually worked to pass bills and craft things and build coalitions.
Graham's opponents claim she's running a curated campaign based only on the Trump endorsement.
I completely support the president's agenda. I'm 100% behind him.
Although those who didn't get the nod do still tout their own Trump alignment.
Everybody who runs in Republican Party politics would love to have the president's endorsement. But I think beyond that, too, it's important to have a working relationship with the president. I think that's what I carry with me.
And while Trump's backing launched Graham into frontrunner status, the president's recent endorsement scorecard in South Carolina isn't without blemishes. with his initial choice in the governor's race losing in a primary runoff after he also endorsed her rival. Voters here seem less likely to take an endorsement as a mandate.
I give him credit for being a smart man, but I'm a smart woman. His endorsement did not mean anything or sway me in any way. Like I said, I do my own research and my own homework.
Senator Darlene Graham announced that President Trump is going to hold a primary eve tele rally for her on Monday. Now, nearly every candidate, including Graham, is scheduled to make campaign stops throughout the state over the weekend. The math tells us that this almost inevitably will go to a runoff. In fact, the South Carolina Republican Party has already scheduled a debate for the top two vote getters 1 week after the primary. The eventual Republican nominee will go on to face a Democratic candidate, pediatrician Annie Andrews. Back to you.
And the man accused of trying to sexually assault a woman in Savannah will remain in jail after he did not make it to court for his first appearance. LaShawa Doyle faces charges including criminal attempt to commit felony rape, aggravated sexual battery, false imprisonment, and public indecency.
How many times is it going to take before we can protect our community? Because Daphne Park is everybody's park, and now it's time for the criminal justice system to do their thing.
Court documents show Doyle was not present for his hearing on Friday. A handwritten note reading, quote, "No appear combative." Doyle's case has now been moved to Superior Court with his next appearance scheduled August 25th. And Liberty County honored Susie King Taylor on what would be her 178th birthday, celebrating the formerly enslaved Civil War nurse, educator, and author. Born in Liberty County, Taylor escaped slavery at 13, served as a Union Army nurse and teacher, and later opened 3 schools for African American children.
She was the first in so many things. She was Georgia's first federally funded teacher. She was one of the first black nurses. She was one of the first persons to write a firsthand account of, as a woman, of her involvement in the Civil War for the Union causes. She was one of the first teachers in the county. And so she's a first of so many.
Taylor documented her experiences in a memoir published in 1902. Her birthplace and the Susie King Taylor Gullah Geechee Museum are now part of the National Underground Railroad Network to Freedom. The museum is located at 100 South Commerce Street in downtown Hinesville and is open by appointment. As South Carolina's special election approaches, we're looking at one of the Republican candidates hoping to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham, Glenda Gale Parker. Glenda Gale Parker enters the Senate race with a resume built around military service and federal budget experience. The Myrtle Beach resident is a retired Air Force officer, federal executive, and budget analyst, describing herself as a conservative independent who leans Republican. Her priorities include reducing government fraud, strengthening immigration enforcement, requiring voter identification, and maintaining a well-equipped military. This isn't her first campaign. She previously ran for the U.S. Senate in Virginia. Though less widely known statewide than several opponents, Parker says she stands out by championing expanded passenger rail and other transportation projects she believes the rest of the field is overlooking. And again, the special primary election will be held Tuesday, August 11th. Polls are open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Now coming up, a promise to serve fulfilled through Officer David Rose's final act of courage. His story coming up. And a new chapter begins for hundreds of Savannah State freshmen, how the Tiger family is helping them feel at home.
Plus, we're tracking another round of rain chances tomorrow, and the National Hurricane Center is monitoring 2 new areas of interest in the tropics. I'll break down all those details coming up in your certified most accurate forecast.